Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend. My name is Kat. I am the Nurse Flipper, and today is one of the videos that I absolutely love to do, and that's my high dollar only what sold. The crazy thing today is we have over 30 on eBay that are over $50 that have sold in the last 2 weeks. We also have got, let me see, we've got 3 on Poshmark, 1 on Mercari, 5 on Etsy, and 2 on Whatnot Static Marketplace. So a lot of them to show you. I'm going to stop talking and get to showing you because these are items you need to know to look for to get your average sales price up. We are starting off with the one sale that we had on Mercari, and that is this gorgeous shell sterling silver pendant. This thing is big. It's almost 3 inches. It was pretty heavy, and I accepted a best offer of 50. I got this in an online lot for about 8. So this one's about a $33 profit. And I love this because it is so big. So here you can see we do show the inside. It's kind of hard to read, but that 925 stamp is there. And here you can see, again, almost 3 inches, really big pendant. It was 25 grams. So if I would have bought this by the gram from one of the sterling silver dealers at like the antique fair or the flea market, I wouldn't have made much money. But because I bought it in an online lot, I did not do too bad. And this one also sold in under 2 months. Moving over to Etsy, we are starting with this antique Greek Orthodox. This is brass, so not precious metal, and still sold for $99.99, almost $100 on this one. And it actually sold in under 2 months. So pretty fast sale on this on Etsy. And here you can see the back, and this one was right at 2 inches. So good sale. And we do not put everything over to Etsy. I primarily do put $5 and higher, or $50 and higher items, but there are a few at the $30 mark that I also will move if I think that they will do better over on Etsy. And that's because I don't want to have a ton of 20 cents every 4-month fees. I want to make sure it's worth it if I'm going to put listings over there. This is so crazy to me. So this is the 3rd piece of Brad Keeler pottery that I have sold, and all of them have sold on Etsy, which is kind of weird to me. You know, I thought some would sell on eBay perhaps, but they've all sold on Etsy. So that's why it's important to get your stuff in front of other audiences. And here you can see this is stamped very clearly. Whoops. It's stamped very clearly, Brad Keeler, and really pretty piece. I do well with lobster and crab stuff, and this one is really neat. I am clicking all the wrong buttons. Not overly big. And it would be good for like a seafood or a lobster boil. So I do tend to put that in my title. You can see there on the title, I put lobster boil, lettuce leaf shape. And this one I got in an online lot for about $8. So this one is about a $40 profit and took about 6 months to sell. This Mantero is a beautiful scarf. I was not familiar with the brand until I got a big scarf lot. I only paid 50 cents for this one, guys. So this is close to an $80 profit in under a month on Etsy. So learn different brands. I have done a couple of scarf videos. I'll try and pop one up top for you. There is that Mantero signature. There also was a tag. This was brand new. This was 100% silk. Absolutely beautiful. It shows it was 175 euros. And the pattern on this is absolutely great. I got super lucky in the ones that I got in this lot, there were about $2,000 to $3,000 worth of scarves, and this one sold in under a month. This was an incredible sale, and it's actually pretty funny. I had Sandy from My Flippin' Van Life on my podcast, and she was saying something she wanted to find she'd never found was a pools of light ring. Not ring, but any pools of light piece. I found this pools of light ring in an auction lot. I only paid $5. It sold in under a month for $150 on Etsy. Absolutely incredible, close to $120 profit. Now here you can see the marking as well as the back, and incredible piece. This one was small too. It was only a 5 1/4, and that's why I was surprised it sold so fast, but it is a really great piece. And I got super lucky that I got it in that auction lot. I had no clue until I actually got it in. And this was an amazing fast sale and a wonderful profit. Last on Etsy is one of my favorite things. So if you do not know, this is a fetish carved frog. They are good lucks, and they symbolize all different kinds of things in the Native American culture. This is a vintage signed Zuni fetish carved frog. It is red jasper as well as the turquoise inlay. And these things are tiny and can sell for incredible money. So if you see them, check the bottom, see if they're signed. But if they're well made, they will still sell high even without a signature. So this one sold in about 2 to 3 months, and I did have to pay up. I paid about $15 for this one. So it is about a $45 profit, but it's a tiny piece, a little bitty frog. I actually just got some new fetishes in. Here you can see this one is signed. I did not put in the title that it was signed, and I typically do. And here you can see with the ruler, this one's just 1.5 inches. Very small piece. Again, it was signed very clearly, and this one was an excellent sale. And with this, we are going to move over to our 3 Poshmark sales. This one was probably a bad buy. It took over a year to sell, and I picked it up at the thrift store for 20 bucks. I thought it would sell for around 100. I took a best offer of 70. Payout was 56. So about a $36 profit. But this is big, and I just should not have got this. I probably would not pick this up again. The only way I would pick up a record player, honestly, is if it was worth around 200 plus, because that way I know I'd get at least 100 if I had to put it on a big sale, because they are a little bit more time consuming and the shipping is going to be higher. So if you're a buyer, Poshmark is the place to go, because anything under 5 pounds ships for that one flat rate of, I think, $7 now. Next up is another fast sale. This is a Tiffany & Co. blue ceramic trinket box, and it was listed less than a month. Sold for full price of $150. I paid $60 for this. So this is a $60 profit after the fees. I do have one more. It's sold on eBay and it's coming back. They said it was not authentic, and I had the receipt for these. So I knew they were authentic, and I was actually pretty mad because over on eBay, the buyer left me a negative feedback. And even though eBay found in my favor that it wasn't INAD and it wasn't fraudulent, they still refused to remove the feedback. But I'm glad this other box sold over on Poshmark and was a quick $60 profit. Last on Posh before moving over to our eBay sales, which is where the majority of high dollar were, is this pair of Nike Kobe Lifestyle. They're green and black, size 13, sold for $68. The payout was $52. These were from a big designer store buyout that I did. So I do consider that 52 all profit because we're in the profit, and there was no way to know per item. So we just kept track of the lot, and now we know anything that sells from it is profit. There you can see the 13. If you find Nikes, this is a number you want to look up, that 582552, to find out what your sell-through rate will be. These were in really good condition, and Poshmark items have to be over $500 for them to get authenticated, where these on eBay would have went through an authentication process. So it's important to kind of get to know, and these didn't have insoles, if you see, I just noticed that. It's important to know the different sites' policies so you're aware of what's going on. First up for eBay is this vintage sterling silver brooch, Israel. It is electroform. I did put abstract, statement, and big. This one, I accepted a best offer of $50. I talked about it a little bit on my last two videos that I have been accepting some offers that are a little lower just to try and move stuff faster, you know, and not be as kind of hard-headed and stuck on what I want to get, as long as it's a reasonable offer and I'll make a good profit. So this one I paid $5 for, accepted the best offer of $50. So it's a $35 profit. It sold in 2 months. This did come from an online estate auction. And this one's really, really neat. There is the Israel and the 925 stamp. And oh, I went super fast. It was 22 grams on this one. So this is another one that if I had bought it by weight, I would have only made about $4. So that's why I love buying online auction lots, especially ones where they do not weigh the sterling, because I'm not competing with people that are buying it for the melt value. Next up is one that sold, and it sold really, really fast, and it sold to a viewer. It sold to Beth on an offer I sent out for 10% off for $53. And this one I got in an online purse lot. I paid about $10. So this one's about a $32 profit. I pick up Michael Kors if I see it in good condition for a good price. And I got this with, I think, a Brighton purse and an online estate lot. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous condition. It does not appear to have ever been used. It did have that original dust bag. And I want to say thank you so much to Beth for your purchase. If you guys are buying stuff from me in my store, let me know so I can tell you thank you. Next up, I believe, is the first one we're seeing on the high dollar that was from 60% off. This is a Franz orchid teacup, and it sold for $56. Somebody was trying to get it for $40, and I'm like, no, like I had this priced at $140, and it was worth it. It's just a matter of fact of finding someone who wants it. There were sold comps at that price point, but as I said earlier, I really want to let some of this older inventory go. Even though it's really hard, I'm doing it. So $56. I originally paid about $15 for this cup. So it's a $32 profit, even with the 60% off. So again, you make your money on the buy, make sure you buy low so that if it sits there for a year, you have the wiggle room to do that without losing money. So there you can see the Franz on the bottom. And this one is in absolutely amazing condition. It sold for way less than what I wanted, but I am glad to have it gone. Next up is this young woman daguerreotype. I did put Reed. This one sold for $59.99. And it sold in 2 weeks, and I am about $10 in, so it is a $40 profit. I love finding 10 types in daguerreotype. Here you can see it did have the front half of the case, but it was kind of split in two, and really, really nice piece, and a lovely young woman. Keep in mind, depending on what is in the photograph, like if you have a soldier or somebody playing music or something that is different, those sell for a lot more money than this one did. A fast sale on a scarf. And if you do not know, keep your eye out for hunting things. They do very, very well. This is a Brooks Brothers wool and silk blend square scarf made in Italy, plaid hunting scene. I accepted a best offer of $62 on this one. And this one was in that same lot, and I got it for 50 cents, my friends. How beautiful is that? $49 profit on a scarf. Absolutely love it. There you can see the Brooks Brothers, and 70% wool, 30% silk. Beautiful print on this. And a scarf like this that wasn't branded, I think would still sell for around $30 to $35. This is a Whiting and Davis like I had never seen before. It is a blue and black floral mesh shoulder bag with leather straps. I'm used to the tiny little Whiting and Davis silver purses, not colorful and big. But this came in an online auction lot. I only paid $5. It sold for $59 in 2 months. So it is going to be about a $42 profit. Just so different from what I'd seen when I opened it up and saw the Whiting and Davis, and I had the dust bag as well. I was like, whoa, I just didn't know they existed because I had never come across one. So there is the Whiting and Davis. And the dust bag had a little bit of dirt on it, but the purse was in brand new condition. Fast sales on linens, especially when they sell for $60. This is a vintage cross-stitch roses white floral embroidered tablecloth. It was listed 2 months ago. Picked it up at the thrift store for $5. It sold for $60. It is a $45 profit. So this one's not even that big, 45 by 62. Beautiful piece. You can see all of these are cross-stitched on, and really, really fast sale. However, I do want to make sure to point out to you that with linens, it is very hit or miss, and the majority of them do take a longer time to sell. Next up was a full price, very fast sale, under a week, for this Waterford Crystal Seahorse. Sold for $59. I got it in an online auction lot. I paid about $10 for it. So it is a $40 profit. I did put nautical, coastal, beach house. I think those are really good keywords if you have things that are ocean related and you have room in your title. So this one was in perfect condition. There were no flaws at all to this, and it was a very, very fast sale. Another fast one. This one sold in 2 months for a best offer on $62. And this one had no pin to go in. So it didn't have closure. That's why it says C, and we put needs new latch for closure. The watch does work. And this one is a gorgeous sterling silver and turquoise watch. Sold for the $62. I was about $12 in, so a $40 profit in 2 months. There you can see the Corazon, and it says sterling. So all of this watch is sterling. I think this one might have been a Relios Carolyn Pollock, because that is what that symbol is. And I might have missed that. So there you can see it says good fortune. And I am happy with the profit on this one, but it might have sold for a little more if it was a Carolyn Pollock piece. This one took a little bit longer, but it's kind of funny because I got it at Renninger's, which is where I have been all weekend. So hopefully I'll have some videos for you guys to see and see the new stuff that I got. So this is a 1980s Murano Millefiori octagonal glass plate made in Italy, sold for $69.99 in 9 months. And here you can see the tag. And I actually got this from a viewer who has a booth there at Renninger's. And this is a beautiful piece, has the original sticker. And here you can see it's only 3 inches. So watch for really nice Murano Millefiori pieces. This one I did pay up. I paid $30. So this one is about a $32 profit after fees. A lot of times with Murano, especially Millefiori pieces, I do have to pay up. This was a really good sale. This is a multi-strand Baroque pearl, also rice pearls. They're very, very small pearls, gold tone clasp. And I sent out an offer for $70 because it was listed 3.5 months ago. I am only $10 in. So this one is close to a $50 profit, and it is just gold tone. This is not a precious metal clasp. That significantly increases the value. Here you can see it's a 17-inch necklace. Absolutely beautiful vintage necklace, and a great sale at $70 in only 3 months. I think Prissy wanted to kill me with the first one of these that sold. So we actually sold both of them in under 2 weeks. And they both sold for best offer on 70. I got these really, really cheap. So they're over a $50 profit. They were a pain in the butt to ship because they were 12 foot, but they only came apart into 2 pieces. So she had to ship these 6-foot long fishing poles. So here you can see BWS 1100 was the model number on this. And honestly, I bought these poles because they had 10 fishing reels on them. And I wasn't going to list the poles. And then when I saw the value of them, I'm like, no, you know, that's $70. I don't want to just, you know, write off. And they both sold very, very fast. So watch for fishing poles. It might not be something traditional you're used to watching for, and the shipping might be a pain in the butt, but I think it is worth it. This Nettie Rosenstein took 2 years to sell, but I got it like for a couple of dollars. So this is like a $90 profit, pretty close, but it took forever. So keep that in mind. Nettie Rosenstein is not overly popular, but this one did not do too horrible. And I'm happy with the sale. I did have it at 280. I did find comps near that, but you know, again, when you've had something 2 years, you have to kind of reconsider what you're going to take. This one sold so fast. It sold in under a week. I picked it up for the thrift at the thrift store for $6. So $56 profit really fast on this. Definitely keep your eye out. And here you can see this is a woodblock print. There is the stamp. And it was big. It was 16 by 19. Packing art can be intimidating, but once you've done it a few times, it really is not that hard. This one took a little bit longer, not too bad though, only 3 months for this one. This is an Atlas signed 12 karat gold filled Cameo set. So not precious metal, just gold filled, sold for 100. I paid $5 on this one. So this one is about a $75 profit. And here you can see we do put it on the display stand. There is that signature, the Atlas and 12 karat gold filled. 18-inch necklace. It was in the original box, which is very, very nice. And this one was a great profit in a very, very short time. And I was very, very happy with that. This is the cutest little purse that sold in a month. It is a My Flat in London. It's got the little Scotty dog. I did put Y2K and boho, and I accepted a best offer of 100. I paid 30 for this one. So it's about a $56 profit. Now, the colors on this weren't consistent, and it almost looks dirty, but it's not dirty if you see those colors. So the buyer did ask, and we did send her some more pictures, and she sent me an offer of $100, and I was happy with that profit. And again, it sold in only a month. Next is one that took a year to sell and took a 40% off offer. And once it got to them, they told me there was a short in the light. So we tested it, it worked, but they said there was a short. They showed me a picture where they had to fix the switch. So it was like $20. They asked for a partial refund. I don't do a ton, but I did it because they showed me their receipt and showed me that they had actually paid for the piece. And yeah, so got it for only $10 though. So after the discount that I gave them, I still got $120 and I only paid 10. So it's over an $80 profit, but it took a year. A lot of these sold faster. I think I got like 10 to 15 from the series from the Danbury Mint, which you can see here. It is marked with a sticker on the bottom. We did have the original box as well as the certificate of authenticity. So even with a couple of bumps and having to give that partial refund, I still made a good profit. Here, I don't normally put the $49.99 sales in these videos, but I sold 2 of these. So it was actually a $99.90 sale on 2 empty boxes. 2 empty boxes for $100. And I got these for $10. So they are $72 profit, which is absolutely amazing on empty boxes. So Van Cleef and Arpels is a really expensive jewelry brand. And I got these from Rod. He had a bunch of them. And I pay attention to empty boxes now. So these are really big. They are 14 by 8. And yeah, super happy with this sale. They are magnetic. They were very, very nice boxes. And they did take about 8 months to sell. This is a ocarina, which is an instrument that you blow into. I don't know. I just looked it up, looked up the comps, and I paid $25 for this one. So this one is going to be about a $60 profit. It took 6 months to sell. I did get it from an online estate auction. So I do pay attention to the instruments for sure. And this one is a smaller one. It was in excellent condition and not too bad of a sale. I expected it honestly to take a little bit longer. Next is some gorgeous feather jewelry. And a lot of these can go very, very high. And this one I accepted best offer of $127 and it sold in a month. Now I did pay about $30 for this, but it's still about a $75 profit. So I will pay up for sterling Native American because it goes high. The necklace was not Native American though. It was a sterling Italy chain. So we do show that, and the earrings are absolutely gorgeous. And this was on the original card and they weighed 10 grams. So if I had bought these by weight, I would have made a pretty decent profit. Next up is another piece from the antique fair when I went in January. So this one took 10 months for it to sell. So a little bit longer. I did pay up for this one, just like I did for the other one. I paid around $50 for this. It sold for full price at $130, making it still a $60 profit. And it is a beautiful Millefiori. This was another one I bought, I think 4 or 5 pieces from her. And she basically gave me half off of the tag price, which normally I want to be at about 20%. So I did pay a little more than I wanted, but they were absolutely gorgeous pieces. So again, I'm saying definitely watch for the Murano Millefiori pieces. It really surprised me, the value, because it was in a glass lot and I paid under $10. So I ended up accepting a best offer of $130. So this one is going to be about a close to $100 profit on this. I actually got 2 of them. They were a little bit different, so we did list them individually. And these were just laying down in the back of a glass lot. So make sure you research everything. Don't assume things are not of value. We did want to show these were imperfections with the manufacturing. And this was a beautiful, beautiful piece. It took a little bit to sell, but it was an amazing profit. Next up was a gorgeous amber necklace that sold to a viewer. It sold to Miss Oksana, and This one was listed back in February. I accepted a best offer of $140. I paid $20. So this is another one that's about a $90 profit. And beautiful amber necklace, very, very lightweight. And that was ounces, not grams, just so you know. But really, really long. This was a 40-inch necklace and gorgeous vintage piece. Next up, this is a gorgeous hand-painted artist brooch. It is sterling silver, and I sent out 30% off because it had been listed 4 months, and it sold for $140. So I am only about $10 into this one. So this one is going to be $104 profit. Now it's hard to see, but down here it is hand signed by the artist. Beautiful, beautiful piece. We really should have zoomed in on, I wonder if I can zoom in here. Yeah, we should have zoomed in on that signature because it actually goes all the way along the bottom, but unfortunately we didn't. An amazing sale though. If you don't know about the hand painted portrait brooches, keep an eye out and pay attention for those. This was an incredible sale, incredibly fast. 2 days for this to sell. Got this in an online auction. I bought a giant lot, like 30 or 40 pieces for $70. So $2 into this thing, guys. This is over $100 profit in just a couple days. And all I put was Italian man oil painting, signed, frames, scholarly art. That is it. That is all I put. And it sold super fast. This one really, really surprised me. I think somebody bought it as a gift, they said. And I got so many high dollar ones. I absolutely love getting art lots. Art can be a little more of a pain in the butt to sell, or not to sell, but to ship. But a lot of times the profit to me makes it worth it. These silverware sold in a day. And I wanted to keep this set for myself because I love mid-century modern silverware, but I really did not need them. Okay. So I had Prissy list them. The only other set of these was about double the pieces for $380. And I couldn't find a bunch of comps on these. So I priced them at $199. Was having a slow sales day, and somebody sent me an offer of $140. So I paid $35 for these. So they were still an $80 profit. And I'm like, you know what? I'm taking it. And we pulled these out, and you're going to see the rest of them coming up later. And so I accepted less than I wanted, which is an important point when we get to the other ones. So here you can see they are clearly marked ESM Remilux. I've had other mid-century modern silverware that has done absolutely excellent. So keep your eye out for it. I've had some cool bamboo handle pieces that sold very high as well. Silverware is kind of a hidden gem if you pay attention. I got these from an online auction, but I have found good silverware at the thrift stores as well. $140 sale on this MCM purse. Was not a brand I knew. Got it in a big buyout. So this is all going to be profit because that lot is in the profit. So this one is $112 profit, even with the 60% off. Again, buy low, and then you can accept these offers or make these sales. So there is the plate. This one was in pretty good condition overall, but again, it took over a year to sell. And the thing is if you don't have a ton of space, items like these are not ones you're wanting to pick up unless you get it cheap and price it lower, then it would move a little bit faster. I have been rocking it with modern stuff in this video. This is Amelia Castillo, sterling silver modernist earrings, a zebra, starburst print or motif. So these were listed 6 months ago. I accepted a best offer of $200 on these. I paid $15. So these are over $130 profit on a pair of earrings. And I was able to find the exact ones to comp them. $200 sale in 6 months is not bad. I always pay attention when it's $9.50 silver. Always pay attention to that. And Castillo is a Taxco artist. These were 30 grams. They were very, very heavy, but this is another thing that even if I had bought it by weight, I would have been under $60. So that into a $200 sale really is not bad. But because I got them in an online auction lot, I wasn't paying by the weight. And instead I made $130 profit. All right, so here's where my story comes into play. These silverware are very, very rare. I told you the other person that has a set has them up for almost $400. You also saw the set that I just sold. Well, I listed that first set first, and then it sold so fast. I'm like, let's get the rest of the silverware up. We just had not gotten around to it. So listed them at $300. So I'm still below the price of the $400 person, but they didn't have equal numbers of pieces. And I did. So I listed them at $300, and the buyer of the first set said, hey, you gave me that first set for this incredible deal. Here's a $200 offer. I countered them at $250 and said, hey, to be honest with you, I was having a slow sales day. I accepted less than I wanted. I can meet you in the middle. I'll meet you at $250, and I would be happy with that. And it was kind of on the fence because I was already in the profit. So anything I got on these was profit, but I also knew how rare they were. There was only one other set listed, and holding my ground like that and saying, hey, you know, I have the only other set and I know I'm priced lower. I'll meet you in the middle at $250, which normally I do 10% off if they're that new, which would have been $270. So I did do a little bit lower than my, you know, kind of rule for it. And they accepted. They said, thank you so much. We love them. And they took my $250 offer. The other set paid for all of the silverware. So all of this is profit after fees. So these are a $200 profit. Again, pay attention to silverware. These are not sterling, but they are very, very mid-century modern. And I did ask them if they wanted the cool avocado green tray that came with them. They did not. So we do have that. If anybody might want to buy that for a great price, I'd be happy to sell it. And I'm very, very happy with this profit. Research, research, research is what I'm going to say for this purse. I got this purse in a purse lot. I paid a couple dollars for it, but I researched it, and it sold this high. It wasn't an Aquarius one. It was another star sign. I sent out a best offer of 10% off for $270. It was accepted. So this one is actually quite a big profit. It is a, hold on. Let's see. I can't do all that mathing. It's a $208 profit on a purse in 2 months, guys. 2 months. It was in good condition. We did have reed because there were a little bit of wear. Now here to identify it, you can see that Isabella Fiore down there on the bottom. I had the only one of these, and the only one I could find that sold again was a different star sign. And it did have that wear on the bottom corners, but overall, it was in good condition and very, very fast sale. So pay attention and always make sure you're comping, because there weren't many listed. I kind of had to go down a rabbit hole to find this price, and it sold very, very fast at an excellent profit. Our number one seller sold in under a month at full price for $279.99. I paid up. I paid $100 for this, but I did comps. I knew the value, and I still made $144 profit, and it sold super fast. So this is a Lost in Space lunchbox. Let me know if you guys would like me to do a lunchbox research video. This has wear. Look at this. This is not in the best of conditions. Some of them sold quite a bit higher than this, and some sold quite a bit lower. So there were reproductions. This one is an original one from 1967. So I expect to wear with the majority of them, and I think collectors and buyers do as well. This is a really, really neat lunchbox. And again, $140 profit in under a month. All right, my friends, that was everything. I hope you enjoyed it. We had so many high dollar sales. I am really excited to see at the end of the year what we got our average sales price up to, because I've been having a lot more high dollar ones. So I appreciate you watching. Let me know if anything caught you off guard or took you by surprise for length of time or how much it sold for. Also, if you can find the hype button, please hype it up so my videos get seen more. Make sure you're following me and like the video. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead, and I will see you on the next one.